Did Shaq just destroy Angel Reese for an outfit choice? Imagine how this statement is shaking up the sports world right now.
Imagine you in the same little shirt you had on at the Wild 'N Out show, Duncan. You know how many t-shirts you gonna sell, cuz? You tripping.
Shaq's comments were just the tip of the iceberg, and the comparisons between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese go be in fashion.
Oh my God.
What?
God.
Them same little shirt you had on.
Okay, all right.
They reach right into the heart of the WNBA's future. Imagine a world where people try to compare the shooting mastery of Steph Curry, a generational talent, to Andre Drummond, known primarily for his strength in the paint. Sounds absurd, right? But that's exactly the kind of wild comparison happening right now.
Shaq receives backlash for telling Angel Reese to imagine how many shirts she would sell if she dunked in those tiny shirts she wore.
Basketball enthusiasts and analysts alike are being drawn into debates about Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. And it's not because of basketball prowess alone. It's as if the narrative around them,
Shaq sexualizing Angel Reese when he's 30 years her senior and has kids older than,
is being hijacked by media moments and controversies. Take a step back to where this all started. Caitlin Clark was already making waves long before her showdown with Angel Reese in the 2023 NCAA championship.
Angel Reese got upset with Shaq after he kept fantasizing about her dunking in the tiny shorts she wore at the Wild 'N Out.
She was leading her league in points and assists, proving herself as a star. Yet some claim that Caitlin Clark wasn't a household name until Angel Reese did her now famous gesture.
So violating and just weird. She looked to that man as a mentor. I actually think he was seriously talking about making money. Homegirl is visibly uncomfortable. Shaq is just one serious allegation away from being taken down in 2024. They not playing with these freaks.
Pointing to the ring after the championship. The implication that Caitlin's career somehow needed the moment to give it meaning, an argument that falls flat when you look at Clark's stats and contributions. Now, some social media posts even argue that both Clark and Reese deserve the WNBA Rookie of the Year award. This sparked controversy, with fans and analysts alike questioning the rationale behind this shared credit. To put things into perspective, Caitlin Clark dominated her first season, outperforming Reese in almost every statistical category.
People gotta ask themselves if she carried herself like, I don't know, Simone Biles or Serena Williams. Would he be talking like?
She led her team into the playoffs, while Reese's team struggled to avoid the bottom of the standings. During their latest matchup, Caitlin posted a remarkable 31 points and 12 assists.
Shaq was very out of pocket here. Proves Angel Reese right about being sexualized.
While Angel Reese stayed in the game, merely to secure a double-double. This comparison is baffling, almost like watching a crime unfold. You simply can't pit these two players side by side as equals. And that's exactly what we'll explore today.
Angel Reese has started and released a podcast, Unapologetically Angel, and she immediately took a pot shot at Caitlin Clark's fans. She says they are the reason she's sexualized. How? She has sexualized herself.
Setting the record straight on the contrast between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, both on and off the court. Let's get real. Caitlin Clark's contributions are reshaping the WNBA, bringing more attention, viewership, and respect to the league. Shaq and other NBA legends have even taken notice, acknowledging her talent. Now, let's delve into the off-court dynamics. Recently, Angel Reese made headlines by openly questioning the WNBA's pay structure. She candidly stated that the league doesn't pay her enough to cover $8.
Doesn't want to be sexualized, rolls up her game shorts as far as possible and makes them booty shorts. Also, Angel.
Her tone seemed more than dismissive, almost flaunting that she has other income sources and isn't dependent on the WNBA paycheck. While this might seem harmless, it creates a divide to most fans and aspiring athletes.
I don't see the problem with what Shaq said. Angel Reese carries herself like a sex symbol instead of a respectable professional athlete, so as a result, that's how she is going to get treated. It's really that simple.
It felt like a slap in the face. The WNBA has fought long and hard to build a reputation and audience. By downplaying her role in the league, Reese inadvertently chips away at the respect and commitment that players like Caitlin Clark are working tirelessly to build. On the other side, Caitlin Clark, despite landing a record-breaking $28 million endorsement deal with Nike, one of the largest in women's sports history.
So Angel Reese complained about being over-sexualized, yet she shows her every chance she gets still. You can't make this shut up, and it's sad because she's a beautiful young woman. #Angel Reese
has maintained a more focused public persona. Instead of showcasing her new wealth, she's spent the off-season in the gym.
Well, when you walk like a duck, talk like a duck, and quack like a duck, guess what? You're a duck. Angel needs to learn how to take criticism and responsibility for her own bullshit.
Pushing her limits. Recently, she even made headlines by hitting an astonishing 25 three-pointers in a row during training. Her dedication shines through in her commitment to improvement and genuine love for the game. is difference in mentality underscores a stark contrast. While Angel seems more interested in branding and lifestyle, Caitlyn remains dedicated to basketball. It's this difference that fuels the comparisons and, arguably, the misunderstandings about their rivalry. The comparison feels unjust, almost criminal, when we observe how much each brings to the table. When I first started watching Caitlyn Clark, her game left me stunned. Her shooting, her footwork, there's an artistry to her play that's rare in any league, let alone the WNBA. Watching her, you can't help but think, this is poetry in motion. For basketball fans, she is a breath of fresh air, someone who takes the game to new heights. In contrast, when watching Angel Reese's highlights, the differences become starkly clear. Most of her plays come from close to the rim, where she relies on strength and positioning, but there's little finesse or shooting range. It's hard to imagine her drawing comparisons to all-time greats, except perhaps for her physical presence on the court. The numbers don't lie either. A look at Reese's shot chart reveals an alarming lack of range, with nearly all her attempts clustered near the basket. Over her entire rookie season, she made only a handful of shots from outside the paint. By comparison, Caitlyn Clark's shot chart is dotted with buckets from all over the court, showcasing her versatility and skill. And then some analysts have had the audacity to liken the Clark-Reese rivalry to that of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson in the 1980s. While that rivalry was legendary, built on mutual respect and competitive fire, the Clark-Reese comparison lacks the same substance. The only similarities are their skin color in a single NCAA Finals game. In the WNBA, the impact of these two players could not be more different. With Caitlyn Clark in the lineup, the Indiana Fever, a team that previously languished at the bottom of the standings, has made an impressive leap to third place. Meanwhile, Angel's Chicago Sky, after a middling season, sank even lower in 2024. This trend tells us something fundamental. Clark's presence transforms a team, a hallmark of greatness that few athletes achieve. Looking toward the 2025 season, Caitlyn Clark seems poised to challenge for the MVP title. Her rookie debut already placed her fourth on the MVP ladder, with averages of 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. And there's little reason to doubt she'll improve, likely approaching a 25-point, 6 rebound, and 10 assist average in her last 10 games of the season. Playing full minutes, Clark posts averages that rival past MVP stats, scoring 24 points with 9 assists and over 5 rebounds per game. The WNBA has yet to see a player like Clark. If she continues her trajectory, she could become the first in league history to lead in both points and assists, an accomplishment unseen in professional basketball since the NBA's Nate Archibald in 1973. This accomplishment alone would put her in an elite category, making her a true trailblazer not just for women's basketball, but for sports in general. Yet, despite her unprecedented impact, comparisons to Angel Reese persist. It's hard not to see this as a media-created rivalry that misses the bigger picture. Caitlyn Clark isn't just another talented player. She's a phenomenon reshaping perceptions of women's basketball. According to a recent survey, she's ranked as the 4th most marketable athlete globally, only behind icons like LeBron James, yet shockingly ahead of Lionel Messi. In a way, this debate truly underscores the media's role in shaping narratives, sometimes bending them to feed a more sensational story. By casting Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese as rivals, the media feeds into a simplified, drama-filled narrative that may pull in viewers, but does little to elevate women's basketball as a whole. This rivalry framing, while potentially engaging for casual fans, risks overshadowing Clark's groundbreaking influence on the court. There's a much bigger story here, a story about Clark's transformative effect on the WNBA, about her dedication to excellence, and about her potential to change the league's trajectory. The media, however, tends to gravitate toward the spectacle, the moments that spark reactions, clicks, and shares. For example, the ring gesture that Angel Reese directed at Clark during the 2023 NCAA championship became one of the season's defining images. But focusing on that brief interaction missed the larger point. Caitlyn Clark was far more than a runner-up in the championship game. She was the player who had carried her team to the finals with unmatched skill, setting records and raising the bar in every round. The entire basketball world knew this, but media stories too often zoomed in on Reese's gesture, positioning her as an antagonist in a rivalry she didn't truly share with Clark. This fixation ignored the breadth of Clark's contribution and her influence on the game. However, it's not just the media that's contributed to the divide. Angel Reese's recent comments on WNBA pay have added a new dimension to the debate, revealing an interesting dilemma for the league. Reese raised eyebrows when she suggested the WNBA doesn't pay her enough to justify her involvement, claiming her monthly rent of $8 000 requires income streams outside of the league. While her point is not without merit, her tone was perceived as flippant, almost dismissive of the opportunity that being in the WNBA represents for many young women. This attitude, intentionally or not, risks alienating fans who view basketball as something more than just a job or view it as a passion, a dream, and an arena for achieving greatness. Enter Caitlin Clark, who provides an illuminating contrast. Despite signing a record-breaking $28 million endorsement deal with Nike, Clark remains focused on her craft. She's been seen spending hours in the gym, even hitting 25 consecutive three-pointers in a recent training session. Clark's off-court demeanor and commitment to improving her game reinforce her as a role model for young athletes and fans. She's humble, driven, and genuinely excited to bring her best to the league. This attitude is refreshing, and it's one of the reasons she's so relatable to fans, who see her as a beacon of what women's sports can be. This contrast in attitude between Reese and Clark underscores the media-fueled rivalry that, in reality, doesn't need to exist. Caitlin Clark is on the verge of single-handedly transforming the WNBA, bringing in new fans, inspiring young players, and earning respect from NBA legends like Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Larry Bird. Her style of play, especially her long-range shooting and playmaking, mirrors Curry's influence on the NBA. Clark has the potential to push the WNBA into a new era where skill, excitement, and influence drive the league's growth, attracting fans beyond traditional demographics and igniting passion for the sport in new audiences. The comparisons, then, feel deeply unfair. It's like juxtaposing two completely different narratives. Reese's focus on external income suggests her career path is more business-driven, while Clark's dedication on the court demonstrates a desire to make her mark through her game alone. Caitlin Clark isn't just another talented player. She's a generational phenomenon, reshaping perceptions of women's basketball. Her marketability is astonishing according to a recent survey. She's ranked as the fourth most marketable athlete globally, even outpacing figures like Lionel Messi. For the WNBA, Clark is the opportunity they've been waiting for to attract mainstream attention. But don't just take my word for it. Here at Sport Pulse, we'll continue to follow these developments, shining a light on what truly matters in the game. If you're curious about the WNBA's journey, the role of players like Clark, and what the future holds, stick with us because we're here to break it all down for you without the noise and sensationalism.